Leigh, thanks again for sitting down with us. We've made 11 signings this summer following Matt Taylor's appointment as head coach. How's the transformation of the footballing side of things at the club been for you?
Well, it's been very good. It's been very hard work summer. I think, as you know, at the end of last season, I decided we needed a roots and brands change in the club on the footballing side. A lot of credit actually goes to obviously Matt and Neil, but also Jamie. I gave Jamie the responsibility for changing just about anything and everything he thought needed to be changed. And he did that with considerable tenacity, and I'm extremely pleased with the response. Matt and Neil have been a real breath of fresh air for the club. Having Jamie there is really useful and helpful for the club, and the quality and the recruitment process, which has been far more disciplined and targeted this year than I've ever known before, I think will bring the benefits I'm looking for. So I am a very happy chairman at this stage.
And has that restructuring finished, or is there still obviously those couple of finishing touches to add to?
Well, I don't think it ever finishes. I've asked Jamie to continue to improve the club in all aspects. At the moment he's focusing very hard on the academy and on the recruitment side of the football club beyond the first team, so recruitment at the academy level. So he's spending a lot of time doing that, and we haven't quite finished the squad yet. I think the squad for the coming season, I think we're looking for another one to come in, which he's currently working on. So we're almost there, but not quite. But then it becomes a continuous improvement process where we're never satisfied with anything, and that's the right attitude to have.
And as well as the plenty of progress that's going to be happening on the pitch, we've seen it off it as well during the fast track season ticket period.
Yeah.
You're able to provide supporters with an update on how that's gone.
Well, it's gone remarkably well. I think our season tickets are up 25%, which I've got to tell you, I think it's much more than I expected. I'm extremely pleased with it. It's better than last year during the coronavirus. It's better than the year before coronavirus. So that is a phenomenal effort from the supporters, and I was extremely pleased when I check the numbers every day, and I set a pretty challenging target for the club, and actually we beat it by 1. Which is great, and we haven't finished yet. Of course, these tickets can be sold into the future. So we've done very well. And that increases sales must be a real financial boost to the club as well. How are we financially? Well, we coped with the pandemic very well. I mean, it's like any football club, in fact, any business. I would never wish to repeat the last 18 months. It's been very, very difficult, very, very challenging. But, we come out of it in reasonably good shape. I think, in fact, very good shape, to be fair. And, what's little known is that a lot of clubs are now under transfer embargoes. And they are not allowed to freely trade footballers in the way that we are. And, some of those clubs are in our league. So we've avoided all that by being, careful in the way we manage the club, and financially we are still very viable. So I'm really pleased. In fact, we've performed better off the pitch than we have on it, and so I wanted to make sure that going forward we redress that balance a bit. I know we'll be very good off the pitch, but we need to get better on it, which is why I've made the changes that I have made. And moving into the start of the season now, obviously we've travelled to Tranmere Rovers this weekend. It's going to be a bumper away crowd. It's just going to be nice to see people there at an away day as well, isn't it? Well, it will. I mean, any crowd's a good crowd at the moment, I think. But the indications I'm getting is we've sold our first allocation, which is 1,120 for the Tranmere game. We've asked for another 900 and got them. So I'd expect upward of 1,500 to 2,000 Walsall fans on Saturday, which will be a fantastic start, and it will be a big crowd. I'm looking forward to being here for the Doncaster and Forest Green Rovers games back home. But the start at Tranmere, the crowd cannot have responded better. It's great.
And finally, we mentioned plenty of change this summer, you know, in all aspects of the club. There's going to be one more coming into play soon at board level. Can you just tell us a little bit more about that?
Yeah, I mean, I've been talking to and involved in the fan-led review, looking at the way football clubs are run. This has been fuelled in part by the Premier League's failed attempt to grow the European Super League, and the way that football clubs are managed and the representation at board level. So I, after a considerable amount of thought, decided to make the supporter liaison officer role within the football club a board member. That is the first time we've ever done it, and so we will. We have to go through the fit and proper persons route. We have to go through the company's house route. But assuming that all works out properly, then the current supporter liaison officer, which is Graham Whittaker, will join the board of the football club, and his job will be to represent the views of football fans of Walsall Football Club at the board. You know, when I took over a couple of years ago, I wanted to make sure that we were, the board and the fans were much closer linked than they'd been in previous years. And I think we've done pretty well on that. I think we've done okay, but I wanted to take the next step, and so I invited Graham to join the board and represent the views of when we're making decisions. What's the supporter view? What's the implications of that? So he will, you know, decide on the strategy towards the supporters, but he also deal with various issues that come up from time to time. We need to deal with better and faster and more efficiently than we do, and I've asked Graham to pick up on that. So he'll be appointed properly when all the processes have gone through in the next month or so. You know, he's a Walsall fan through and through, has been all of his life, and he's a very welcome addition. But it just complements the board. I mean, I'm a Walsall fan as well, as everyone knows, but I'm also the chairman. So I wanted, and I sometimes don't pick up on what the base are really thinking or what they want of the club. So Graham's job will be to make sure that we're connected and that the football experience of a Walsall fan is better than anybody else's. So we'll see. I mean, he's got a 2-year assignment from me, and then we'll review it in 2 years' time. He's very excited by it, and I'm very pleased to have him on board. But we'll see. And I actually think there's 12 other clubs, by the way. We're not the first to do this. There's 12 other clubs in the EFL that have done it. I wanted to be the 13th, and we will be. And I think others will follow, because one, it's the right thing to do, but two, I think the regulations and guidance of running a football club in time will require it. But I want to be ahead of the game.